Hi loves, it's me, Crystal Metellus, here to empower those all across the world who are on a mission to conquer in life for a greater purpose. It is 2019. I hope you all are excited. Today I'm going to be sharing with you all 5 tips. And these 5 tips are going to help you when making your 2019 goals, okay? So I want you to grab a piece of paper and a pen and jot down some notes. I don't want you to bank on remembering everything that I tell you today because we have 365 days in a year and you are going to receive a lot of information over that time. So to think that what I tell you today is going to remain in the forefront of your mind is not likely. But if you write it down, you can always go back and refer to it later. So let's begin. Number one is going to be write a list. I want you to write out an actual goal list. Write it out and consider that 2019 goal list that you make target practice. So in big bold letters on the top of your paper, I want you to write just that, target practice. And I'm not talking about the paper that you're jotting down the notes on. No, I'm talking about your actual 2019 goal list that you make. On the top of that paper, I want you to write in big bold letters, target practice, because that's what we are titling it, right? And each goal that we write down, we are going to be aiming at and shooting off the list in numerical order, okay? And anytime that you are aiming at something, it's some key factors that you want to take into consideration to stop you from missing your target. And we're going to, on our note paper, we're going to call that bullet points, okay? So you should have 1, write a list. And then I want you to have bullet point A, vision. Because we can't go at this thing blind, guys. Can you see what you are aiming for? Can you see it? That is so important that you're able to see what you are aiming at. You can't expect to hit something that you cannot see. So you want to ask yourself that question. Can you see it? Can you see yourself owning your own company? Can you see that? Can you see yourself being the boss or the manager of a business? Can you see that? Because a lot of times we get so focused on the title that we lose sight of the responsibility, when the responsibility is what creates the title. So I don't know how we get that mixed up. The responsibility is what's necessary. So can you handle everybody else's responsibility falling in your lap? Because it's not just your responsibility that you're worrying about anymore. It's your responsibility and a responsibility of everybody else when you're a boss, right? All of that falls on leadership. So can you handle that? Are you able to withstand that kind of pressure? Can you handle your life being on display? You always being in the forefront. Everybody looking to you as the model of what to do and what not to do. Can you see yourself being in that position? Can you really see yourself as marriage material? I know that's a big goal on a lot of people's lists. And don't get me wrong, that's a great goal. I'm not trying to deter you from that at all. But what I am saying is to take into account the responsibility that comes with that and be able to see yourself operating in that thing. Be able to see yourself actually holding that title or, operating in that role. And I'm not talking about just verbalizing the word love to someone for the rest of your life. No, I'm talking about displaying love, demonstrating love to someone else for the rest of your life through loyalty, through commitment, through submission. All of those things fall under that umbrella. So you have to be able to see yourself in these roles. These goals that we're mapping out, we have to be able to envision ourselves actually doing them, right? You have to be able to envision it before you embody it. That's so important. Okay, so let's move on to number 2. Number 2 is going to be don't overexert yourself. Don't overexert yourself, meaning don't bite off more than you can chew. Don't put more on your plate than you're able to handle in one sitting. There's nothing wrong with leaving something for later, or leaving something for tomorrow. And I'm not, refuting the saying that why put off to tomorrow what you can do what you can do today. I actually support that saying a whole lot. But what I am saying is once you have tackled enough portion for the day, there's nothing wrong with putting something off to tomorrow. And no, I'm not saying weeks from now. I'm not saying months from now or years from now, because you know how we do. We'll keep pushing it off and pushing it off. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is once you've tackled enough portion for the day, it's okay to put something off to tomorrow so that you don't overexert yourself, because that's what we like to do. A lot of times we like to overdo it, right? We like to burn ourselves out when the Bible clearly tells us that the race is not given to the swift or to the strong, but to he that endures to the end. Endurance takes pace, guys. You have to pace yourself. I can't stress that enough. And I actually learned this when I was doing those long distance jogs. I was started off sprinting out the gate, running as fast as I can, giving it my all. I'm gonna get through this, I'm gonna get this done, only to burn out before I even get to the halfway point. I'm tapped out, bent over, out of commission. It was a done deal. And then someone actually taught me, like, no, you have to pace yourself. You have to make sure you're breathing correctly. You have to make sure that you're not exhorting everything that's in you, that you're saving something to continue out the rest of the race. We have to be mindful that the goals that we make, that they are realistic, that they are obtainable. And that's not in any way to be mistaken as easy. No, that's not what I'm saying, because I know for sure that there is a work that is required of us in order to accomplish our goals. So you have to know that. Don't think that this thing is supposed to be easy, that it's going to just fall out the sky, because that is not going to be the case. We cannot be lazy, okay? Work is required for us. Complacency halts advancement, period. The more comfortable we are with where we are, the less likely we are to move. So you will never get nowhere past where you are as long as you stay complacent and stuck where you are. And be mindful that your place of complacency is not the result of fear, because that's actually what it was for me for a long time. Fear of failure, fear of what everybody else would say, fear of inadequacy, right? So you got to make sure that that's not the situation for you. So ask yourself that question. Is your complacency the result of fear? Right? So I had actually posted something a couple of days ago, and it said, what thoughts have you been given shelter to? Because in order for us to accomplish all the goals that we have on this list, we are going to have to start serving some eviction notices to stinking thinking, or some eviction notice to polluted thoughts, because those are the things that will stop us, right? And we won't go no further because we're housing the wrong things in our mind and we're giving way to fear. No, if fear is an issue, then we need to combat that and put it in its rightful place so that we can assure that we get this list done. Okay, guys? So B, under number 2, don't overexert yourself. B is going to be stability. Stability. Because doubt will make you waver. That's what doubt does. And whenever you waver, you are unstable. So how likely do you think it is to hit a target when you're unstable? The more unstable you are, the more likely it is for you to fall. Or in this case with us, shooting targets, for us to miss. And we don't want that. No, we want clear and accurate shots at every goal attempt that we go after. Okay, so let's move on. Number 3 is going to be set a duration time for each goal. Set a duration time for each goal. This puts a demand on your assignment, right? It puts a demand and it gives you motivation. It gives you fuel. It gives you that rev in your engine that you need. Have you ever had an assignment where you was racing against the clock, and you know when it gets down to the last couple of seconds and it's beep, 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 and that's letting you know, that's an indication that we're running out of time? That creates a sense of urgency within you. So you make sure you go at that thing full force, giving it all you got to make sure that you meet the mark, to make sure that that time and that buzzer don't run out before you finish what it is that you need to do. So we need that sense of urgency when we're tackling these goals. We need that time duration because nobody wants to be a failure. Nobody wants that. So to prevent that, you're going to do what it takes to make sure you do things in the time frame allotted, right? To make sure it gets done. And then now you have time to go on to the next thing. Instead of spending years doing something that shouldn't have took that long, or spending years working at something that never gets done, and now all you have is what? Wasted time. No. So the bullet point for this is going to be C, focus. Okay? C, focus. Because when we're sidetracked, our focus shifts. Remember, our target was ahead of us. But now we're stuck looking to the left and looking to the right. And inadvertently, our target is now elsewhere. And we're not focusing on that goal anymore. We now have a new target. We're looking over here. We're focusing over there. So that goal that lies ahead never gets met because we are sidetracked and lost our focus. Focus, 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 guys. You gotta zero in on it. You gotta focus. Bird's eye view. Don't lose sight of the goal, because we're trying to hit the mark that's ahead of us, not to the sides of us and not behind us. And we have to be mindful that we keep that in our remembrance, because it's so easy to lose sight of where you're going. Okay? All right, so moving on to number 4. Number 4 is going to be break bigger goals down into parts. Break bigger goals down into parts. And the purpose of this is because I don't want your faith to shrink at all. Okay? So I don't want you to think, because we're breaking it down, that the big picture is not obtainable. It is. But we're just doing it in a way that's manageable for us. Okay? So if we break it down in stages and we give each stage our all, right? Once we max out, that's when God's super can attach to our natural, and now he can add the addition to what we need to make sure that we accomplish this overall big goal. Okay? So we're going to make sure that we fine tune every area, right? So that once it comes together, it's not missing nothing. It's not lacking nothing. And it's a testament to our faith, because we're believing God for something that's bigger than us, right? But at the same time, we're not shortchanging God, because that's what a lot of us do. We like to sit back and twiddle our thumbs and just wait for God to do everything. But that's not faith. Faith becomes evident once you start actually exercising it. Once you start doing your part, doing the requirements of your part, and then believing God to do the rest. And then those pieces can come together and make a whole. And now you've accomplished one of the greatest goals ever, and your testimony is that much more bigger and powerful. So I didn't give y'all the bullet point for that. The bullet point for that, to prevent us from missing our target, is going to be control. Control. Keeping our goal manageable. Listen, this control is so necessary, because when you lose control, things become chaotic, right? And when you're dealing with chaos and you have no control over it, it will eventually start to control you. Because now you're stressed out, you're angry, you're mad, you're bitter, because you don't have control over anything, but you have to be in the midst of it. So it's important to keep control over what it is that you're doing. Keep control over that list. Don't let it overtake you where it's down to the wire, and because you didn't do a time frame, because you didn't stay focused, now you down to December and you're like, oh my God, I gotta try to get this done. I gotta try to get that done. Oh my God, I'm stressed out. I can't do none of this. I'm a failure, because you're out of control. No, we're going to keep control. So we're going to put control as a bullet point on this list. It's going to be D. So that way we know what to watch out for. and it won't creep up on us. We're going to break things down and make it manageable. Again, not overexerting ourselves, where we burn out, where we give in, where we prematurely die off. We're going to keep control. Okay, guys? So let's move on to our last one. Our last tip is going to be make yourself accountable to others. Make yourself accountable to others. Again, this gives you momentum. This gives you fuel. This keeps you going. No one wants to be considered a failure, right? And when you have spectators watching, it gives you an extra oomph, because you like, nah, I can deal with the self-doubt in private, but I can't deal with the humiliation in public. So to prevent that, I'm going to do what I need to do, because people, they're not as lenient on you as you are to yourself. We like to give ourselves a lot of passes, right? It's okay, we'll get over it, whatever. Next time, forget about it. It don't matter. And we keep things secret. Don't nobody know. I can deal with this self-doubt on my own, as long as don't nobody else know about it. But when we take, when we step out there and put ourselves on the line and make ourselves accountable to somebody and have other people watching, now we know people banking on us. It's people counting on us. It's people watching us, right? So we're going to take the necessary steps to make sure that we don't deal with that shame that comes from putting it out there and not getting it done, or putting it out there and then giving up and throwing it in the towel. No, we don't want that to be our story. We want to give people hope for the future, right? We want them to see God's super attached to our natural and make these things come to pass, right? We want this to be motivation for our next year. If we did it this year, we can do it again, right? So make yourself accountable to people. Let people hold you to a certain standard. That way you don't slip and you don't fall off, right? Because you get a little tired. No, it'll make you stay the course. So you want to keep that, accountability. And our last bullet point is going to be precision. Precision. Making it simplistic. When you narrow things down, it makes your target so much more obtainable, because the broader it is, the more things that's in your view, right? The more things that you have that's crowding your view, the less likely you are of hitting your target. That's why the Bible tells us that narrow is the way. We have to be able to see straight. We have to be able to hone in. We have to be able to zero in, right? So that we can make sure that we are accurate, that we are on point, that we don't miss. Precision, be precise. It's so important, guys. This really helped me last year in 2018. And it's going to help us all in 2019 if we follow it out this same way. Okay, guys? So that was all my tips for the day. Let's do a little quick review. The 5 tips when making your 2019 goals are: write a list. Don't overexert yourself. Number 3, set a duration for each goal. Number 4, break bigger goals down into parts. Number 5, make yourself accountable to others. And then the 5 bullet points to prevent from missing your target. A was vision. B, stability. C, focus. D, control. And E, precision. Guys, these things will really bless your life in regards to your 2019 goals. So don't stay away from them. All right? Keep them with you. Make sure you keep going back, looking at them, marking off where you are. Okay? So make sure you share this broadcast out, guys, and give somebody else those same tips. That way we can all meet our goals this year together as a unit with force. Okay? Also, I want y'all to go to my website, www.crystalmetellus.com, and purchase the book that I just wrote and released, The Pearls Around My Neck. That one is really a blessing as well. It got a lot of key principles. It gives a lot of direction and clarity on, a lot of things. A lot of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is in those pages. So, guys, you really want to check that out. Or you can also buy it as a gift for someone else. Bless someone else's life it was made to shift perspective, because a lot of times, like I said, our focus is everywhere else instead of where it needs to be. So this book was written to get people back on track to have that straight and narrow path to success. So again, that's www.crystal, Krystle, Metellus, METELLUS.com. I'm also going to write it out in the post so you can just click on it. Once you get into the page, just click shop. It takes you directly to the book. It's like 3 steps, easy, piece of cake. You get it done and that book will be out to you in no time. I'll see you all in a little while with whatever else I'm led to give you to get us all through this 2019 year strong. Be blessed, guys. See you later.